Hello everyone. In my previous video, you all must have understood very well that why there is a need of preparing a separate consignment account with the help of a story. We had already discussed all the parts which are to be debited in the consignment account, that is the cost of consignment and all the items related to the consignment cost. We also learned how to find out the sales revenue of consignment, and we also discussed upon the valuation of closing stock of consignment. Now, in this third part of this video, we are going to learn about losses. What are the different types of losses? Which losses need to be reported in the books of accounts and which losses need not be reported in the books of accounts? We are going to learn in this video. So I am here, Dr. Aarti Mudaliar, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce, the Bhopal School of Social Sciences, with the loss of consignment. So guys, there are two types of losses, abnormal loss and normal loss. Well, types of abnormal losses can be loss by fire, loss by theft, or loss by accidents. Whereas normal losses can occur because of evaporation, because of leakage, or maybe because of breakage. Well, the second point of difference is abnormal losses are avoidable in nature because it does not occur due to the nature of the goods, whereas normal losses are totally unavoidable in nature because it is the very nature of the goods to have such kind of normal losses. Because of this very nature of the goods, some abnormal losses, or you can say all the abnormal losses, are insurable in nature, that is, the insurance company gives the risk cover, whereas the normal losses are non-insurable. Now, abnormal losses are mostly non-recurring in nature. Of course, theft, fire, or accidents will not occur every time during the consignment, whereas the normal losses are recurring in nature because you cannot avoid it. Breakage, leakage, or evaporation tend to happen in the normal course of business due to the very nature of the goods. Now, next point of difference is it has no effect. The abnormal losses have no effect on the value of goods, whereas the normal losses will definitely have the effect on the value of goods because the cost of the entire consignment goods are apportioned to the cost of the units remaining. We will definitely learn in detail about this particular part in the further part of the video. Now, the next point of difference is effect on profit. Well, abnormal losses do have an impact on the profits because if it goes unreported, it will put an effect on the profit, that is, it will show a lesser amount of profit as it should have been already recorded. Whereas a normal loss doesn't have any impact on profit because the cost has already been absorbed in the value of the cost remaining. Now, let us learn about the valuation of abnormal loss. Well, abnormal loss can also occur in two stages, that is, abnormal loss in transit and abnormal loss in the storage of the consignee. So, let us learn about the abnormal loss in transit, how to value abnormal loss. Now, to find out the value of abnormal loss, the first thing you need to find out is the number of units lost in transit. So, find out the cost of the unit sent and divide it by the number of units lost. You will get the cost of units lost. So, the first step in the valuation of abnormal loss is finding the cost of the units lost. So, you need to find out whether the total cost of the goods sent are given or per unit cost of goods are given. If per unit cost of goods are given, the simple thing is to multiply the per unit cost with the number of units lost. But if the total cost of the goods are given to you in absolute figure, in that case you must divide the absolute figure with the total number of units consigned multiplied by the number of units lost. Now, to find out the total cost of the abnormal loss, you must add with the cost of goods lost, the proportionate expenses of the consignor only, because the goods were lost during transit, so only consignor's expenses have incurred. That is why you need to understand what are the consignor's expenses divided by the number of units consigned and multiply it by the number of units lost. So, the aggregate of the cost of goods lost and the proportionate expenses of consignor will give you the total value of abnormal loss. Now, let us understand the valuation of abnormal loss in the storage of the consignee. If any kind of abnormal loss like theft or fire or any such loss occurs in the storage of the consignee, in that case you have to go one step ahead. That is, take the cost of the goods lost just as in the previous case, add to it the proportionate expenses of the consignor just as in previous case, and the proportionate expenses of consignee as well. But which type of expenses you will take? Only the non-recurring expenses of the consignee. Now, why these expenses have to be taken? Now, since the goods have been received by the consignee, have been taken to the storage of the consignee, therefore the non-recurring expenses of the consignee has already occurred, which should be attributed to the cost of the goods. That is why we need to take three things, that is the cost of the goods lost, the cost of expenses incurred by the consignor, and the proportionate cost of the non-recurring expenses of the consignee, and the aggregate of this will give you the value of abnormal loss of the goods in storage. Let us understand now about the normal losses. Well, for the normal losses, no separate entry is to be made in the books of accounts of the consignor, because as I said earlier that these losses are absorbed in the cost of the goods remaining. The second point is it is considered while the valuation of the closing stock, because the closing stock has to be valued considering the value of normal loss. Why? Because the value of the normal loss has to be attributed, or you can say the remaining goods have to bear the cost of the normal loss. So in short, we can say that per unit cost of goods increases because of the normal loss. Now, for the valuation of closing stock, keeping in mind the normal loss, we must follow the following steps. Number one, finding out the adjusted per unit cost. Now, how to find out the adjusted per unit cost? Now, adjusted per unit cost can be found out by taking the original cost of the goods consigned plus all the direct expenses divided by the total units consigned minus the units lost. That means the total units received by the consignee after the normal loss. Now, this value gives the adjusted per unit cost. Now, how to find out the closing stock keeping in mind the normal loss? Now, the closing stock will be number of units unsold multiplied by adjusted per unit cost. And there you go. That is how you are going to apportion, or you are going to increase the value of closing stock, and this is how a normal loss is not shown separately, whereas it puts a great impact on the units remaining in hand. Let us understand it with the help of an example. 2000 radio sets are consigned at the rate of rupees 300 per radio set, the freight being rupees 1000, and due to normal loss only 1960 radio sets are received by the consignee. So if 500 radio sets are in stock, that is closing stock, then how to find the value of the closing stock? Now understand this, I am not saying how to find out the value of normal loss, mind it. We will calculate the value of closing stock. So for this, what we are doing? We are taking out the total value of the goods consigned, that is 2000 radio sets multiplied by per unit cost of the radio sets, that is 300. So when you multiply, it will give you the value of the total radio sets, that is 6 lakhs. We add direct expenses, that is freight charges 1000 to it to get the total cost of 2000 radio sets, which is now 6 lakhs 1000. Now you must divide it with the number of units remaining in hand, that is 1960 radio sets. When you divide this by 1960 radio sets, you will get the adjusted per unit cost. Now once you get the adjusted per unit cost, you have to multiply it with the number of units unsold, which is 500. And there you go, you have the value of the closing stock, which is 1,55,612. Did you see the difference? Earlier, the total units consigned were 2,000. The total cost of the goods consigned were 6,01,000, whereas now the per unit cost has increased. The per unit cost before normal loss is 305 rupees. How did you get this? By dividing 6,01,000 by 2,000, whereas the per unit cost soon after the normal loss is 306.6. It has inflated by approximately 6 rupees. How did you get this? By dividing the same cost, that is 6,01,000 by 1,960, that is the units remaining. So this shows very clearly that per unit cost of goods keeps on increasing because of the value of normal loss. Well, my dear students, till now I hope you all must have understood the difference between abnormal loss and normal loss, and the valuation of abnormal loss, and also the valuation of closing stock, keeping in mind the normal loss. For all other types of accounts to be prepared in the consignor's book, and also the different types of accounts to be prepared in the books of consignee, I'll catch you in the next part of this series of consignment accounting. Till then, keep practicing.